Have you ever just stopped and wondered, how do your favorite apps actually work? Well, today we're going to crack open the secret code that powers like every single one of them. I mean, think about it. You finish a level in a game, you get that awesome new high score, and then you close the app. But when you come back tomorrow, poof, it's still there. How does it remember that? Is it just magic? Okay, so it's not exactly magic, but it's kind of close. It's actually a secret code, and it's only made of 4 super simple actions. And the wildest part? This same code is used in pretty much every app you can think of, from Instagram to whatever game you're playing right now. So, let's break it down. All right, first things first, let's talk about an app's secret memory. Okay, here's the best way to think about it. I want you to picture your favorite app as this giant digital library. All of its information, your photos, your friends' posts, those high scores, it's all stored there, just like books on shelves.
Now, every librarian needs a librarian, right? Somebody has to manage all those books. Well, in the world of apps, this librarian has 4 main jobs. Programmers have a special name for this system. They call it CRUD. And all that is the 4 simple actions they use to manage everything in our digital library.
And what are those 4 actions? They're super simple. Create, read, update, and delete. That's it. That's the entire secret code. Anytime an app does anything with information, it's using one of these 4 jobs. So let's see how this works with an app we all know. Okay, let's take our library idea and see how it fits with an app you probably use every single day. Instagram. First up, we have Create. In our library, this is easy. It's like getting a brand new book and putting it on the shelf. Simple. On Instagram, when you post a new photo, you're doing the exact same thing. You're telling the app to create a new piece of information and add it to its big library. Okay, next is Read. In the library, this is just you walking around, browsing the shelves, checking out all the book covers. And on Instagram, this is what you're doing like 99% of the time. When you're just scrolling through your feed, your app is busy asking the library to read all of your friends' new posts so it can show them to you. So what about Update? Well, imagine our librarian spots a spelling mistake on a book's little info card and just fixes it. That's an update. On Instagram, it's the same thing. You know when you post a photo and then you see a typo in the caption? When you go in and edit it, you're telling the app to update the information. The key thing here is you're not making something new, you're just changing something that's already there. And last but not least, delete. Sometimes a library has to get rid of old, worn-out books to make room for new ones. And yep, it's the exact same with apps. When you delete that comment you immediately regret making, or you take down an old photo, you're telling the app to delete that information from its library. For good. So create, read, update, and delete. That's it. It sounds pretty simple, right? But here's the big question. How do massive apps with millions or even billions of users stay so incredibly fast? Let's go back to our library. If it only has 100 books, finding the one you want is pretty easy. But what if it had millions of books? Or billions? Trying to find just one specific book would take forever. And that's the biggest challenge these apps face. How to avoid searching every single shelf one by one. So how do they solve this giant problem? With a really clever trick called indexing. It works exactly like the index at the back of a textbook. Instead of reading the whole book to find one word, you just flip to the index, find the word, and it tells you the exact page to go to. Apps do the same thing. They create a special index for all their data. And the difference is just huge. Without an index, the app has to search through everything, which is super slow. But with an index, the app knows exactly where to look to find what it needs, and it can do it almost instantly. This is what makes that read action feel so fast. Okay, but wait, there's another problem. What happens when something goes viral? A super popular post that everyone wants to see? In our library, that's like one book becoming so famous that hundreds of people are lining up to read it at the same time. Even with a perfect index, our poor librarian would be running back and forth to that one same shelf all day long. And this is where our second big trick comes in. It's called caching. A smart librarian would see everyone asking for the same book and think, why don't I just keep a few copies right here at the front desk? That way they don't have to run all the way to the back shelves every single time. And you guessed it, apps do the exact same thing with really popular information. And again, the speed difference is insane. Getting that book from the back shelves might take, say, 10 seconds. But just grabbing it from the front desk, from the cache, takes less than 1 second. This is why your feed loads so fast, even when there's a viral video that literally everyone is trying to watch at once.
Okay, so we've got our 4 actions, CRUD, and we've got our 2 speed tricks, indexing and caching. But what's next? Well, things are about to get a whole lot smarter.
Imagine walking up to our librarian and asking a really specific, complicated question. Something like, hey, can you find me all the books by authors from California that were added to the library last month? In the past, you'd need a computer programmer to write a bunch of complicated code to get an answer like that. A computer just couldn't understand plain English.
But now AI is changing the whole game. It's like having a super smart librarian who not only understands regular, everyday English, but can also speak computer code. You just ask your question, and the AI translates it into the perfect code to find the answer for you, instantly. This is making it easier than ever before to work with massive amounts of data.
So, let's wrap this up. What's the main thing to remember? It's that every single app is powered by that simple secret code. Create, read, update, and delete. Just think of it like a giant library. And those clever tricks, indexing, and caching, they're like the secret librarian helpers that make everything feel magically fast.
So here's a little challenge for you. The next time you're on your favorite app, whether you're posting a picture, scrolling your feed, or just changing your profile, try to spot the secret code. Ask yourself, am I creating right now? Am I reading, updating, or deleting? Because once you start seeing it, I promise, you'll never look at your apps the same way again.